ask you, what about the children of Gaza? Because more than 4,000 of them have been killed as a result of the Israeli response.
The suffering in the Gaza Strip as a result of Hamas's decision to declare war on us on October 7th is heartbreaking. None of us want to be in this situation. This isn't a war that Israel started. It's not a war that we wanted. It's not a war that we even expected. It's a war that Hamas declared on us with the October 7th massacre, with that spectacular cruelty when they invaded and tortured and mutilated children in front of their parents before executing them, burning whole families alive. And we are doing everything we can inside the Gaza Strip to get civilians out of harm's way. That's why we've been warning them for 3 weeks to get out of northern Gaza temporarily for their own safety. Okay. The Israeli army has placed over 20,000 individual phone calls urging people to leave, and today facilitating another humanitarian corridor so the people of northern Gaza can get out of the way until the fighting is over and we proceed to destroy the terrorists who perpetrated October 7th.
More than 10,000 people killed in Gaza. Our Taoiseach here said that what's happening looks like something approaching revenge.
No. What Israel is pursuing is its legitimate right of self-defense, as most Western governments have accepted, to defeat the terror organization that perpetrated October 7th, so it can never do it again.
But was there not another way to do that? This response has been unprecedented. More than 10,000 people killed.
I hear and understand your concern. I wish we could send an email to Hamas and make it disappear, but unfortunately, that's not the case. It's a genocidal jihadi group that is openly vowing in English to do a second October 7th, a third, a fourth, until they kill every man, woman, child in the country. Our response is proportionate to that threat, to the threat to annihilate the Jewish people and the state of Israel. We're doing everything we can to get civilians out of harm's way. But when Hamas embeds itself within the civilian population, using them as human shields, it is recklessly endangering them. And we think that the international community is right to be outraged, and that outrage should be directed at Hamas inside Gaza and not at the army that has been doing everything it can, I would say, more than any army in the history of warfare, to get civilians out of harm's way.
Those 10,000 dead, they are not all Hamas militants, are they?
So, first of all, I would urge caution about quoting numbers that are being distributed by Hamas.
Well, the World Health Organization has also said it finds them reliable.
The World Health Organization is quoting Hamas. There are no independent organizations that are getting their numbers from anywhere other than the terror organization that on 7th of October beheaded and burned whole families and then lied about it to the international media.
Thousands have died. Would you agree that thousands have died?
I do not know the exact number. I'm saying, as we saw just the other week when an Islamic Jihad rocket hit a hospital and Hamas immediately blamed Israel, that the world should treat anything Hamas is saying with a huge pinch of salt, because Hamas is deliberately spreading disinformation to attract international sympathy and stop Israel from exercising its legitimate right to dismantle the terror organization that perpetrated the biggest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust.
UN agencies and charities have also called for a ceasefire. However, they say the humanitarian situation on the ground is unbearable, that civilians are bearing the brunt of this. Will Israel call a ceasefire at some point soon?
No, there will be no ceasefire that leaves our hostages inside Gaza and that leaves Hamas in power. There was a ceasefire on the 6th of October. Hamas broke it and brutally massacred 1,400 people. Hamas doesn't get to ask for a ceasefire just because it's being clobbered. There was a ceasefire, and another ceasefire now would literally let Hamas get away with murder, and it would leave it free to do it again with a military machine and with 240 hostages in Gaza, and even worse, it would send the message that democratic states that come under such a violent attack have no right to defend themselves.
So how long will it take for Israel to defend itself? How long will it take to destroy Hamas? And if Hamas were destroyed, what would Gaza look like afterwards? Who would govern it?
I'm not going to speculate on the timetable, but unfortunately, the road ahead is going to be long and it is going to be difficult. You know, for many years, Israel avoided this sort of ground operation because we didn't want to see the scenes that we're seeing now. But the October 7th massacre left us no choice. Now, we're exploring several contingencies for what can happen the day after Hamas. The common denominator among all of them is that the Gaza Strip must be demilitarized so it can't be used as a base for terror attacks against Israel. What I can say is the day after Hamas, the Gaza Strip will be such that it no longer presents a security threat to the south of Israel, will give security to Israel's people, and will give new opportunities for the Palestinians.
And do you believe that what Israel,
different path.
Do you believe what Israel is now doing to the Gaza Strip, destroying infrastructure, killing thousands of people, leaving children orphaned, will make Israel a more secure state?
I wish we had another choice other than to destroy the terror organization that perpetrated the biggest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. I wish we could ask Hamas nicely to leave us alone and they would leave us in peace. But they are openly vowing to perpetrate another October 7th again and again and again until they have destroyed our state. That was from an interview with Ghazi Hamid, the Hamas spokesman to Lebanese TV, on the 24th of October, a threat that he since repeated in subsequent interviews. This is the threat we are facing. A jihadi group that openly says it wants to destroy our country and murder every man, woman and child. And in order to defend ourselves, we have to eliminate that threat. And I know the scenes in the Gaza Strip are very, very difficult to watch. And we hold Hamas entirely accountable for all civilian deaths and suffering that result from its decision to declare war against our people, sending thousands of rockets at us, brutally massacring people, and embedding themselves in the most cowardly fashion among civilians.
Levy, who's spokesperson for the Israeli government. Thank you so much for joining us on the 6-1 News.
Thank you very much.